I thought about how great our city is poised for a vibrant and rich future. And I thought about Blue Oval City coming and what that is going to mean for our city and how transformative that was going to be. And I felt with my knowledge, my experience, my leadership at the state level, my leadership as a military officer, I needed to offer myself, for my city. Just like I've been fighting in Nashville for my city, I needed to bring that talent home and fight for my city. I've learned more about some of the grassroots organizations that are really fighting very hard for the city. I've learned that they have tried for years to get funding to help them fight for our city, change our city, impact our city, and that they need help. I've learned that a lot of the small businesses, particularly minority owned businesses, although I've already knew they needed more access to capital, but I've learned that there are so many that's right on the cuffs of growing their business and increasing their trajectory, and the city really need to do more to help them to be able to do that. Several things I think that would make me be a good mayor. One is my military experience. The discipline that goes into making tough, hard decisions, being able to negotiate with generals and briefing the president and things like that uniquely qualifies me for all the tough decisions that I know will have to be made for Memphis at this critical time. Secondly, I feel that my experience in Nashville working across party lines to get things done, even in a minority situation that I'm in, I have the relationships that are very important to get things done. I fight for Memphis now, and I've been able to bring resources home in the capacity that I'm in. So I feel like I don't have to go and begin to make relationships in DC and in Nashville. I already have those relationships. So I think that uniquely qualifies me as a leader in my current capacity to get things done for Memphis, Tennessee. I think about strong women who have invested in me. And it's easy to say your mom, which is true. But I have a good friend for life that I met at University of Tennessee in 1977. That's Linda Hall. And oftentimes I would say, you're the smartest person I know. But she is a person of courage and strength, and she was a groundbreaker. She was a glass ceiling kind of breaking the ceiling at FedEx. And so she's a person that is a hero to me, and the impact she's had on so many young people coming up. Secondly, and this may seem cliche-ish, but it's the Honorable Lois DeBerry. Speaker Pro Tem Lois DeBerry saw something in me when I got there. Although I knew of her as a kid, I knew of her coming up, I knew of her and all the great work she had done. But when I met her there, she saw something in me and decided, I'm going to invest in that young lady. So her work in and of itself is exemplary. And she has just impacted and changed the lives of so many Tennesseans. So she's a hero to me. And I guess the third person I would think about, Maxine Smith. Man, just looking back over her life and what she did, that her legacy now, every child graduating from the school named in her honor, their diploma is going to have her name on it. And so what she did at the time she did it it not only changed things here in Memphis, but in Tennessee and globally, the things that she did. So that would be three women, fortunately enough, that have impacted and poured into me. The first 100 days, I really want to, I do want to deal with the pothole situation. I just do. I hear so many people talk about that, and I know that there are a lot of infrastructure dollars, but I do know it takes time, right, to get the money and get it flowing and get it going. But that's something I want to address immediately. Secondly, we have got to come up with a long-term public safety strategic plan. And I've got to, as mayor, put together a working group to really begin to do that. And that I'm talking about the entire ecosystem. You know, the courts, law enforcement, fire, nonprofits that's doing great work, churches. How can they be more involved? You know, everything from A to Z, every arm of the system, from people re-entering society. All of us need to come together and have a long-term public safety plan for this city. So long after I'm gone, the strategy is still in place. The plan is still working. I want to put a working group together day one when I get there to address those issues. Thirdly, what I would do in my first 100 days is do a listening tour. I learned very much when I became the leader that it's important to hear from people who have been experiencing the impact of what this city has on them, on their families. So we have got to look at, what are we doing right? What could we do better? You know, how do we begin to build a coalition around moving our city forward? Well, in order to do that, you have to hear from people. So I'm going to do a listening tour.